The closed beta for the Dragon Ball Super card game's digital client has just wrapped up, and it is so fun. I had a great time playing this game on stream. It's dynamic, it's fast-paced, it's a great time, and I just wanted to share with you guys my thoughts on it because there's some good, but there's also some bad. But first, let's start off with the good, because there is a lot of good here in this game. Starting with the core gameplay. The Dragon Ball Super card game is a leader-based card game, which lends itself very nicely to this genre of anime tie-in game, right? You wanna have your Gokus, your Vegetas, your Freezes, you wanna use those cards, and so being able to use them at all times and always have access to them is really, really unique. A leader-based card game, for those of you who don't know, is essentially a game where you have your leader card that acts as a representation of you, and you have access to that card at all points in the game. This is one of those games. Most Bandai anime tie-in games tend to be like that, so it's nice. It works here, and it works really, really well. Another gameplay system I thought was really, really cool is another Bandai staple, which is that your health is tied to cards. When you start the game, you take the top 8 cards of your deck off and lay them down. Those are your health in the Dragon Ball Super card game, and whenever you take a point of damage, you get one of those cards back. So it's a really unique sort of way to treat health as a resource, because you're incentivized in some situations to take a couple hits, draw a couple cards, and then work towards countering your opponent's hit or stopping them from dealing damage. On top of that, the awakening system, which is like this game's flagship mechanic, when your health reaches a certain point as listed on your leader card, your leader will flip over and you'll get a new ability, a super powerful buff to your card in some way, shape, or form. And this game really, really uses those to its advantage. A lot of really cool and unique systems. I thought Vegito and Zamasu were the two that shined the most, having really, really impactful flips that you had to really build your deck around, which I think is a really cool way, again, to use this leader card system. Another amazing part of this game was the gameplay visuals. Out of this world. The fact that the different arenas, when you load in, it's a random one every time, and it's some location from the Dragon Ball games, is a great call out for fans. The usage of models to represent your leader card was a really, really cool way to replace the Guardian system, or at least augment it, that you see in other card games. On top of that, whenever you would hit your opponent for their last bit of health, or attack with 10,000 more power than you started the attack with, your leader would do a super attack, which really incentivized me to want to try out other leaders just to see what their super attacks were. I thought it was a really cool and dynamic way to encourage experimentation across the board in a card game like this, where it's kind of easy to go, I want to play my Goku and I'm just gonna play Goku. But we can't talk about the good of the game without talking about the bad. And the first bad thing that really, really stuck out to me in this game were the visuals. All right, we're in. First thing I want to say, holy hell, is this game landing page ugly. It looks so bad. Because in game, it looks really nice and fun. And out of game, it looks like dog shit. And I don't mean that lightly at all. I mean, this game looks like a flaming, stinky, brown bag of dog shit. It is hideous. They very clearly took a mobile game UI and just scaled it up, because why is the loading screen loading wheel low resolution when everything else on the screen is high res? When I click on a card to attack, the little symbols that appear above them, you can see pixels around the edges, but everything else looks fine. It infuriates me, dude. Look at the landing page. The home page for the game is ugly. It is so ugly. The buttons are disgusting. I can't even begin to stress how ugly this game looks before you load into a match. So much so to the point where it like really turned me off and gave me a bad expectation for the game going forward, because it's not hard to make a decent UI. Look at Master Duel. It doesn't have to be the craziest thing in the world. We don't have to have Hearthstone level animations, but at least give me something that doesn't make me go, God, what is this? Because it's hideous. It's absolutely hideous. And this is a bit of a smaller gripe, but in the deck builder, you can't left click on cards to take them in and out of your deck. You have to right click, which is just like so counterintuitive, because every other game you can left click and the card will go in, you left click on the picture and the card goes out. It's how it works. It's in and out, in, out, in, out, left click, right? But in this game, I have to right click, and I don't like that. It's just unintuitive. And that's kind of how the whole UI felt to me, was just very unintuitive and crowded and ultimately lazy. I could design a better UI than that in my sleep in MS Paint. Please, Bandai, fix this. It was the only complaint I had coming out of this, was that the UI is horrendous. Now, those are all the things that were directly observable within the game, but there's one more thing that I want to talk about, and it's something that has me very, very scared for the future of this game, because despite how ugly this UI is, I have a lot of hope and expectation based on the gameplay alone, it's incredibly fun to play as a card game. However, there was one thing that stuck out to me almost immediately. This game has no way to monetize. There are no guardians to buy. There are no arenas to pay a little bit of extra cash for. There are no card sleeves in sight that I can see, or a reason to have them, because I can never really see my opponent's card backs anyway. So what else can you really monetize in this game other than the cards themselves? And if you look at games that monetize strictly through cards, they tend to have a bit of a reputation, which is that they're incredibly pay to win, and they do not incentivize in almost any way collecting cards without opening up your wallet. Especially in a card game like this, which is so fast-paced, you're going to get burnt out of your whatever deck you have probably fairly quickly. I know when I was playing, some of the decks really didn't have any dynamic gameplay decision-making points, and just felt like I played them once, got them, and then was like, okay, I don't have to play it again, right? Very few decks had incentivized me in a way to attempt to grind or learn the different lines the deck can play. With no way to monetize outside of selling you card packs and a better homepage, I really don't think that this game is going to be very free-to-play friendly at all. I mean, one of the questions in the survey was, how much do you spend on new card sets when they come out? Bandai, I get it. Card games can make a lot of money, but digital card games are a new frontier that really incentivize being free-to-play friendly, especially if you have a physical version that you can get people to go and just buy packs for, right? I don't understand why these companies, other than just greed, it's just pure greed at this point. Even Yu-Gi-Oh has an amazing monetization system for a monetizable game. You can buy card packs, sure, but there's plenty of daily missions and other like ways to get gems. Like you can get enough gems in Yu-Gi-Oh at the start of a season to just get the battle pass without spending a single dime. I have put money into Yu-Gi-Oh because of how easy it is to earn gems. I was like, I'm perfectly content putting in, you know, $10, $15, $20 just to get some more gems, because I don't feel like this game is trying to milk them out of me. Monetization and card acquisition make or break a card game. Look at Marvel Snap, dude. That game has some of the worst acquisition possible, and everyone dicks on it. Do not, if you're hearing me, do not commit to this. Create other ways for players to monetize your game that are not card packs, please. For the love of God, I'm begging you, please, because I want this game to do well. The card game market could really use something like this, and the Dragon Ball audience is massive. It'd be a huge boost for the genre. This is something that has me incredibly worried, and it's why I'm actually gonna hesitate to give you guys my recommendation to go out and play this game just yet, because while the gameplay is incredibly fun and dynamic, I really can't help but shake this feeling that it's going to be a massive cash grab from Bandai Namco, and knowing the Dragon Ball franchise, this game will probably succeed at doing so, and that makes me sad because I also enjoy Digimon, dude. I play Digimon physically. I love Digimon. I want a Digimon digital client. I'd love for an official One Piece client to come out. All these other cool Bandai card games that are currently only physical could get a digital client if the Dragon Ball one does well enough, and I really don't want them to become cash grabs too, because that would suck. But overall, my experience with the beta was very, very positive. And I want to know what you guys thought. Did you guys get a chance to see the beta? Did you get a chance to play it at all? Let me know what your opinions were down in the comments below. And I will see you next time, potentially in the future, with some more Dragon Ball content, as long as the game doesn't make me pay $100 for a standard deck like Magic the Gathering Arena does.